What's up, everybody? How y'all days going? Blessed this way, moving forward, daily healing, helping others. Um, all right, so today I got on my mind. I'm gonna share about purpose, purpose, and what drives us, and what we putting our energy into, and what we wasting our energy on. At one time, I wasted my energy on a whole lot of things that wasn't like good for the inside of me, and anything that ain't good for the inside of me that's in there is gonna come out, and when it comes out, it's gonna affect others in this world, right? So, like, if we're not adding to a situation, we taking away from a situation. There's only two sides to a battery, you know. Everything in life comes in twos: husband, wife, up, down, left, right. You know, y'all get it. So, yeah, purpose today. So, for a long time, I looked and searched for like my purpose. I'm talking about I read books, I got advice, I watched things. I did a whole lot of stuff, which that was needed. Like every encounter and conversation with somebody, every piece of advice, every piece of knowledge I obtained, it was good because it was there, right? But I got to a certain part of my life to where I realized like I looked everywhere but inside of me, right? So a form of being selfish, say, right? There's a form of being selfish that's healthy, right? A form of being selfish to where you spend time with self, you connect with God, however you see Him. If that's your route, like I said, it's gonna be a universal channel. So you connect with whatever you connect to by spending time with self, learning the gifts you got. You know what I'm talking about? Like not the stuff you learn. We're all born with something, a purpose. We're all born with something that's naturally there. Since we was kids, we done it, and we done it great. And people was amazed when they seen us do it, and they would ask like, "How long you been doing this for?" And you like, "I never went to school. Actually, I just did it." That's purpose. That's sitting in self and finding out your true gift, so you can deliver that. So everybody got gifts. So you might cook well, you might cut hair, you might craft wood good, you might be a good carpenter, so on and so forth. So tapping into self, finding purpose, you have to sit in self. It's something I had to do. I had to sit down with me. And I ain't talking about for a day. I ain't talking about like, everybody's journey's different. Everybody's life's gonna be different. So there ain't no time frame on it. When we look at things, time is just a clock anyway. Like, there's no beginning and no end. God is Alpha and Omega, right? Yeah, so sitting in self, I was able to find my purpose. And like, purpose is real simple. It was like finding what I was naturally good at. Like, what I've always was able to do without somebody teaching it to me. It was just automatically there and what I felt good about doing. Your purpose. Funny when you touch with your purpose, like you'll know because the two things you look for. Remember, like two sides of a battery. So the two things that'll stick out and that you'll look for. You'll look for it to see if that's your purpose. Is if you're naturally good at it. Nobody really teach it to you. It's just something that's always been there and it's had your interest, and you enjoy doing it, right? Like it just melts your heart. And you enjoy doing it. And like, guess what? When we melt our own heart, we're starting to love ourselves. When we start to love ourselves, healing takes place, right? That's what we're doing. This channel is about helping men and women heal, right? So, all right. So, yeah, finding purpose. As I sat in self even more, no matter what anybody's spiritual belief is, I'm gonna respect how I say that. No matter how people look at things and look at God, higher power. Some people's, spirituality is. I apologize about that, yo. Some people spirit me turn this off. Some people's spirituality, but that could be confirmation, right? So, some people's spirituality is different. So it could be science. It could be, you can say God. You can say higher power. You can say universe. To each his own. As long as you have that To search inside of self and find you, that's a beautiful thing. So we start to love ourselves, right? And when we start to love ourselves, you know, it's the output. We take in something, we loving ourselves, and then it comes out. Whatever's in will come out. Then we can start to love others, right? Being of service. So I sat back, and more I sat back, and like I started to love me and get in touch with God, the universe, just this good energy that's created everything. And I looked in a lot of spiritual texts. I studied it all. Like I've looked at any religion, any spiritual text. I studied them and I respect them. It's just part of my journey. So I noticed something. God altogether done a lot of things through all of the things we read and stuff like that, right? And all these beautiful things that we have to be able to be a guidance to our life that we've read. He done, but the main two things I've noticed that he's done. Stuff's always happening in between of God's actions, but the main two things he's done to cause all the in between actions was create. He created the universe, the world, everything in it, all the energy around, right? He created it all, no matter if you're science, Big Bang, no matter if you're a Christian, Genesis, no matter if you're Quran, so on. You get the point, right? So he was a creator. God creates, right? And as he creates, he acts out of love. That's the two things that touched me to see how I can be like God. Speaking on made in the likeness or image of God, I'm told to act as I am one with God. Get as close to God as I can and act in that image. You know what I mean? Through my actions, right? So I'm like, hold on, there it is. Like I've searched my whole life. Like, what am I good at that I naturally love to do? That's a creation, right? That I can act out of love by doing. And I found them things. Thank God I found them things, and it's bringing me peace. And like you could be part of things like AA, and you could be part of things like CR, NA, so on and so forth, or not even a part of that. Like everything I've studied about millionaires, billionaires, successful people that just like they chase business and that's what they do and that's their life, and you know what I mean, and which that's cool. Everybody's got their thing, and I respect it all. But like one thing I would like through the things I've came across is that like being of service is how people become successful, no matter if it's mentally, physically, spiritually. They act of service. They're of service in some kind of way to this beautiful place that God's gave us to be a part of. So being of service automatically comes when you're creating and when you're acting out of love as you create. So as far as that, my advice is like, touch into self, get into self, be selfish for a little while. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Speaking on like, no, not get away from me. I got nothing from you, for you. More like, just it don't hurt to be alone, because when you're alone, you can listen. You can pray all the time, which is a beautiful thing. That's a start. But to have a conversation and to hear what's going on, you got to sit, which they call meditation, and you can't have no distractions while you're doing that. You got to be alone sometimes to be able to sit in self and to be able to hear what God, universe, energy, whatever's trying to tell you, whatever your belief is, right? I'm gonna say that for a little while until everybody catches on to where like this is a universal channel. I just want to say all that out of respect, so I don't lose nobody here. But yeah. So creation, you know, find things that will. My suggestions to anybody is just to, if you're having trouble with purpose, is to find out what you're good at, and that you can naturally like do that makes you happy. And it was always just a gift that was there, the gift that God granted you. And do it out of love. Act out of love as you're creating things, and then like, that brings us closer to being oneness with God. And we're automatically going to be doing service to others as we're creating and acting out of love, right? That's just falls in. That automatically comes. Um, Being purpose driven. That goes along with what I'm saying. Being purpose driven. Also, I got to keep myself in check daily because I'm in the flesh, right? I'm in this body, right? I got a beautiful spirit that God's given me, and but I have to steady, constantly keep this flesh in check because I can turn to where I'm pleasure. Y'all get it, right? Pleasure driven, and once I start acting out of being pleasure driven, I'm getting into ego and all kind of other things, which is a wrong part of self. We have a lower part of self and we have a higher part of self, right? And where's heaven? It's a high place, right? That's the definition of heaven, high place. So if we want to be closer to God, we need to act out of higher self, right? So yeah, be purpose driven, not pleasure driven. You know what I mean? Anything that's tangible, that automatically comes when you're doing the right thing, when you're being good to others, when you're acting out of love, when you're loving yourself to be able to create something to add on to this beautiful place that's God's given us to have the opportunity to add on to, right? So yeah, finding purpose is being purpose driven, not pleasure driven. If it's tangible, it comes and goes, right? We're only borrowing it for a minute from God anyway to be able to be on this earth and do the mission He's gave us to do, which is our purpose. And you know, if you ask me, our purpose is to find out what we're good at creating, deliver it to the world through love, you know. So yeah, that's all I got. Quick little message. As far as this channel, some things are taking place. God's working to where like it's gonna be a nice setup, like you know, just a real cool little setup. You know, we got things rolling. Uh, yeah, every day on it. So like as these videos increase, you'll see a different little setup, actually a little studio deal. Like, you know, to make these beautiful videos and to deliver the world to help people heal. I want to give a little nugget. If y'all try this out, you'll see life change. You'll see life affect you in a different way. So, like, just try it in the morning when you wake up. You know, just don't brush your teeth. Don't do nothing to make yourself anything other than your natural form when you just woke up. Look in your eyes in the mirror, right? And ask yourself, do it out loud. Say, what am I going to do today? And then answer, help people, right? What am I going to speak today? Life on myself and others, right? What is today? This is the day that God has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Try that every morning. Look in the mirror and try that every morning. And drop in the comments if it affects you or not. Remember, when we comment, like, share, subscribe, this helps this channel grow so it can land to the people that God needs it to land to. He's going to do it automatically alone. So if you want to be a part, though, of making this grow and, you know, having this land to a person that might need to hear it, remember, our mission is to save lives. There are people out there, you never know what they're thinking. You never know what they're going through. You never know how you can help them. I don't care if it's just holding open a door, saying something nice, or just looking at them with a smile. You can lift them up and change their whole world around. Remind people that there's still good people out here. That's the mission. We helping people. We healing broken men and women. This is what we do. If God's giving you something so freely, don't hold it back from the next person that might need it or can use it, and it goes on. When you do that, it just automatically starts paying forward when it lands in the right hands. So God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful weekend, and let's just keep this movement going. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate y'all. All love. Peace.